From early childhood, most people are quietly taught that intelligence arrives with a fixed limit. It is presented as something measured, ranked, and finalized before life has properly begun. Tests, labels, and comparisons reinforce this view, dividing minds into neat categories that suggest permanence. Over time, those categories become internal boundaries. They shape what people attempt, what they avoid, and what they quietly decide is not for them. Many eventually choose paths not because of genuine interest, but because those paths seem appropriate for the level they were told they possess. This belief settles in gradually, often unnoticed, until it feels like common sense. Yet it rests on an assumption that intelligence is a static trait rather than a living process. The idea that some are born capable while others are not may feel logical, but it has little to do with how learning actually unfolds across a lifetime. When examined more closely, intelligence behaves less like a fixed measurement and more like a capacity that responds to use. It develops through engagement, effort, curiosity, and repetition. History offers many reminders of this, though they are often simplified into inspirational anecdotes rather than examined for what they truly reveal. Individuals who struggled early, who were dismissed or underestimated, later reshaped entire fields of knowledge. Their achievements did not emerge from an inborn exception, but from sustained interaction with ideas, problems, and questions. What changes over time is not some hidden genius suddenly awakening, but the structure and flexibility of the mind itself. Learning reorganizes perception, practice refines judgment, attention deepens understanding, intelligence expands through contact with experience, not through destiny. Despite this, modern education and social systems tend to encourage a narrow range of mental engagement. People are trained to operate within a limited band of awareness suited for efficiency, productivity, and constant responsiveness. Other modes of thinking, slower, more reflective, more imaginative, are treated as secondary or even unproductive. Within symbolic and contemplative traditions, however, the mind has long been described as operating across different levels of activity. These levels are not mystical in themselves, but descriptive frameworks for understanding shifts in attention, perception, and internal processing. According to these systems, different mental states support different kinds of learning, creativity, and insight. What matters is not abandoning rational thought, but recognizing that rational thought is only one mode among several. One modern system that attempted to organize this idea into a practical framework emerged in the mid-20th century. It proposed that the brain moves through identifiable patterns of activity, often described as frequencies, each associated with a particular quality of awareness. In everyday waking life, attention is directed outward, problem solving is linear, and the mind is alert but often tense. This state is effective for tasks, decisions, and survival, yet it leaves little room for reflection or integration. Other states, reached through relaxation and inward focus, are associated with learning, imagination, and emotional regulation. Within this framework, accessing these states is not seen as supernatural, but as a skill developed through familiarity and practice. The system emphasizes a structured mental process, often summarized by three interrelated attitudes: desire, belief, and expectation. Desire refers not to vague wishing, but to clarity of intention. Belief involves an internal assessment of possibility, shaped by experience and self-trust. Expectation reflects the degree to which the mind anticipates a result rather than merely hopes for it. Together, these attitudes influence attention and behavior in subtle ways. They affect what people notice, how they interpret setbacks, and whether effort is sustained or withdrawn. In this view, outcomes are shaped less by isolated moments of visualization and more by the consistency between intention, conviction, and anticipation over time. Another central element of the method is learning to shift deliberately from ordinary alertness into a calmer, more receptive mental state. This shift is described as moving from active external focus toward relaxed internal awareness. The process typically involves physical stillness, controlled breathing, and directed attention. Rather than forcing concentration, the aim is to reduce unnecessary mental noise. As attention settles, imagery becomes clearer and thoughts slow. Within symbolic interpretations, this state is associated with heightened learning, emotional balance, and access to subconscious patterns. Importantly, it is not portrayed as escapism, but as a temporary reorientation that allows the mind to process information differently before returning to daily activity. Within this relaxed state, imagination plays a functional role. Imagination here is not fantasy detached from reality, but a rehearsal space for perception and response. By forming clear internal representations of desired outcomes, individuals are said to align emotional and cognitive resources toward those outcomes. The emphasis is on specificity and coherence rather than intensity. Vague images produce vague responses. Clear images guide attention and behavior more effectively. According to the tradition, the mind responds not to words alone, but to internally experienced scenarios. When these scenarios are emotionally consistent and repeatedly revisited, they influence decision-making in subtle but measurable ways. The method also stresses the importance of returning from these states deliberately, reinforcing a sense of control rather than dissociation. Gradual reorientation to ordinary awareness helps integrate insights without disorientation. Over time, practitioners report that entering and exiting these states becomes easier, requiring less effort and less formal preparation. Symbolically, this represents familiarity with one's own mental rhythms. The goal is not constant inward focus, but flexibility, the ability to shift states when appropriate and to respond to circumstances with greater composure. In this sense, the practice is framed as mental hygiene rather than transcendence. Beyond personal goals, the system attributes broader emotional effects to regular practice. Relaxation reduces stress responses, which in turn affects mood, patience, and interpersonal behavior. As internal tension decreases, people often report increased empathy and emotional availability. These changes are not described as moral achievements, but as natural consequences of reduced internal conflict. When attention is less consumed by fear or urgency, it becomes easier to recognize similar states in others. Within this framework, personal development and social impact are linked indirectly. Improving internal regulation alters external interaction, often without deliberate effort. Ultimately, the underlying message challenges the assumption of fixed limitation. It suggests that what people take to be the edge of their capacity is often the edge of their training or awareness. Social definitions of intelligence, success, and potential are narrow tools, useful for administration, but insufficient for understanding human possibility. According to this perspective, Learning how to work with the mind is not about escaping reality, but engaging it more fully. The more clearly one understands internal processes, the more responsibly one can respond to external demands. Intelligence, in this sense, is not a number or a label, but an ongoing relationship between attention, experience, and intention.